Have you ever felt that you had explained something very clearly, yet the result turned out to be completely different from what you expected? You chose the right words, used a polite tone, and even repeated the message several times. However, miscommunication still happened. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This situation is very common, especially in the workplace. Today, I would like to talk about an issue that is often underestimated but has a significant impact on professional environments: miscommunication in the workplace. This problem affects not only productivity but also working relationships, trust, and even a person's career development. In many workplaces, failure is not caused by a lack of technical skills or knowledge. Instead, many conflicts, delays, and poor decisions occur because messages are not delivered or understood clearly. We often assume that others understand what we mean, when in reality, they do not. Miscommunication can take many forms. It may appear unclear instructions, messages that are interpreted differently, or a tone of voice that sounds aggressive or too passive. In today's digital era, communication often happens through emails, instant messages, or group chats. Unfortunately, these platforms do not always convey emotions, context, or intention accurately. One of the main causes of miscommunication is differences in perception. Each individual has a unique background, experience, and way of thinking. When we communicate, we tend to see the message from our own perspective rather than from the listener's point of view. As a result, what seems clear to us may be confusing to others. Another major factor is the fear of asking questions. In professional settings, many people are afraid of being seen as incompetent if they ask for clarification. Instead of speaking up, they choose to stay silent and make assumptions. Unfortunately, a simple question could have prevented a serious mistake. Miscommunication does not only affect task and performance, but also interpersonal relationships in the workplace. When communication breaks down, trust begins to fade. Colleagues may feel unappreciated, misunderstood, or ignored. Over time, this can create an unhealthy work environment filled with tension and frustration. I would like to share a story about my experience with miscommunication in the workplace. 3 years ago, I worked at a small saving house. It was one of my early experience in a professional work environment. My responsibility was to help with production tasks, and sometimes I needed to ask questions to make sure I was doing my job correctly. One day, I needed clarification about a task and decided to ask my boss. However, I felt nervous when speaking. My words came out slowly, my sentences were unclear, and my explanation went in circles. As a result, my boss became confused and misunderstood my question. She gave an answer that did not match what I actually needed. This experience taught me an important lesson. The problem was not that my boss didn't want to listen, but that I was unable to communicate my question clearly and confidently. I realized that miscommunication in the workplace often happens not because people don't care, but because messages are not delivered clearly. Because of that experience, I became more aware of how important clear communication is in the workplace. I realized that asking questions is not just about what we want to say, but also about how we say it. Since then, I have tried to organize my thoughts before speaking and communicate more confidently so misunderstandings can be avoided and work can be done more effectively. So, what can we do to reduce miscommunication in the workplace? First, we need to deliver messages clearly and in a structured way. Use simple language, focus on the main points, and avoid unnecessary assumptions. If needed, repeat key information in different ways to ensure understanding. Second, we should practice active listening. Communication is not only about speaking, but also about listening attentively. Avoid interrupting, pay close attention, and respond in ways that show genuine understanding. Third, we must have the courage to ask questions and seek clarification. In a professional context, asking questions is not a sign of weakness. Instead, it shows responsibility and commitment to producing quality work. Four, we should pay attention not only to what we say, but also to how we say it. Tone of voice, facial experience, and body language play an important role in communication. A respectful and open attitude can prevent unnecessary misunderstandings. Miscommunication may never be completely eliminated. However, with awareness and strong communication skills, its negative impact can be significantly reduced. Effective communication does not only make work process smoother, but also helps build healthy and respectful professional relationships. To conclude, I would like to encourage all of us to be more mindful when communicating in the workplace. Don't focus solely on what you want to say, but also on how your message is received. Because in the end, effective communication is not about speaking more, it is about being understood correctly. Thank you.